I already recorded these games as live games, so my opponent conceded real quick out. My opponent was trying to play the MTG Goldfish version of Goblins. What's that called? The Bushwhacker, 8-whack they called it. My opponent was trying to play that. Really easy win. Opponent concedes. Not really. I think we went to turn 2. My opponent was like, nope. So, yeah, I was worried about the one-land hand, but I have Shredder and Lantern to turn on Opal. And Pyroclasm to take out early threats, and I got Decay and Surgical to help out with early threats and shut down combo. And then I draw a Bridge. I noticed my opponent mulliganed and then scryed a card on top, so I play Shredder first to mill that card. Then play a Lantern, play another Shredder, just trying to put my opponent off of enough burn to kill me. Obviously my opponent does not have any creatures at this point, so I know I just gotta keep my opponent off of enough burn. I wait until my opponent's draw phase to Surgical the Rift Bolt, so it gives me a good look at their hand plus acts as discard. I count up the amount of damage my opponent has in hand. Turns out my opponent does not have enough damage to kill me, and I have enough mill rocks to make it so my opponent can never draw any more damage to kill me, or most likely not. I draw the Needle to shut off Hellspark Elemental, so I don't have to worry about the Unearth. Go ahead and play the Bridge. Stirring Blaze isn't going to be doing anything to me. I just gotta remember not to play Spellskite, which isn't too hard. I could have played Stirrings a turn earlier, but I decided not to because I wanted to get that second Stirrings on top. So use one Stirrings to get a Glimmer Void, use second Stirrings to get a Bell. So Lock is on pretty strong at this point. And opponent's trying to make me play it out. So it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, force my opponent's hand there. And now I can just mill without being worried at all. Because my opponent would have to have 7 cards in a row. Well, I guess 4 cards in a row because I'm milling 3 at the end of their turn, regardless. And yeah, opponent concedes at this point. I wrote down what my opponent had in hand, by the way. So game 2. I know it was iffy because I don't have a bridge, but I didn't need a bridge last game, and I figured, well, chances are my opponent's not going to be playing a turn 1 creature because I didn't see any Goblin Guides, if I remember correctly, from that Surgical. So I figure I can do an early Lantern Shredder Thoughtseize thing going on here. Again, my opponent mulliganed and put a card on top. So since I had Abrupt Decay, I figured it was safe to go ahead and Shredder first, get rid of that top card, and if my opponent played a creature, then I could just decay it. Yeah. Get rid of the aggressive mining, because I didn't want my opponent to try to hold that card and then use it when I can't stop them. I didn't want them to be able to start sacking lands, and tapping mana, floating mana, and then sacking lands to draw a bunch of burn spells. So, already got the lock. Opponent does not have enough spells in hand to kill me. I think my opponent misplayed there. I think they should have held on to this Skullcrack, because I have a Sunbeam Spellbomb on top, but my opponent did not. So I'll go ahead and use it now. Let my opponent draw the Lightning Bolt, because Bolt's not going to kill me. Play the Bridge. I don't need to play Stirrings now. I figure I can just draw that Bell. Why Stirrings for it when I can just draw it naturally? And now I can Stirrings for something else, which I Stirrings for a Sun Droplet. So now it's a pretty ridiculously good lock. I force my opponent to play the bolt now by playing the Sun Droplet. And that's it. And I'm just going to let my opponent draw lands and worthless crap for a while. And my opponent concedes. Easy game.